right. Hello, hello. This is Miss Gallant. We are looking at our Unit 3 study guide. And all right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, remember, you can use your Desmos calculator to also graph all of this. So I'm going to actually, let's just do this. I'm going to bring my screen over here, and I'm going to have my Desmos screen as well. So, boop, and boop. There we go. All right, so graph the solutions to the linear inequality. We can go ahead and start graphing it, and then we'll just check with Desmos. So to graph the linear inequality, first we're going to start with our y-intercept, which is our number without a variable. It's the constant of our equation. So we're going to start at -2 on the y-axis, which is here. Our slope is 4, which means we're going to move up 4 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and right 1 unit. There's an invisible 1 to make our rise over run. Okay, and we're going to continue this pattern till we run out of room. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And there we go. Okay, so then let's take a look at our inequality. This is a greater than symbol. There is no equal to, which means this will be an open line, kind of like our open circle when we did our number lines. So when I graph this, I'm going to have some dashes. I am going to put my arrowheads because this does continue on forever. Okay, and then I need to shade according to my graph. Now this is a y is greater. So I'm going to start on my line, and I'm starting at -2. Well, what y's are greater than -2? Well, that would be -1, 0, 1, all of this above my line. So I'm going to shade on this side of my line. And you can make it as pretty as you want, as long as we can tell, like, hey, this whole area should be shaded. Okay, coming over to my Desmos screen, we're just going to type that in. So that was y is greater than 4x minus 2. And if we look, this over here matches this over here. We started at -2, and then we increased going up 4 units, right 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. And we shaded, it's a dashed line or an open line, and we shaded above that line. So there you go. Always, always, always use Desmos to double check your work. Okay. All right, so looking at question number 2. Write an inequality to represent the graph. So we're going backwards. We want to write this line kind of as a y equals mx plus b. However, we don't know if it shouldn't be an equals. It's going to be an inequality of some sort. So let's start. What is our y-intercept? I'm going to look where we cross the y-axis, and it looks to be at 3. Let's see. Let's look at our m, which is our slope. So to get from one point to the next, I'm going up 2 units and to the right 1. So that tells me my slope is 2, or 2 over 1. So we have y, and then something like some sort of equals or inequality, 2x plus 3. So I just need to decide what inequality symbol to use. So here's my line. We shaded below, so that would be a less than. And then this is an open line, so no equal to bar. If it were solid, we'd put an equal to. Okay.
Teachers, at this time, please release pep squad and football players to the gym for the pep rally.
Sorry about that. We are on pep rally schedule, so there's going to be lots of announcements in the middle of this video. All right. And again, if you want to double check, you could take this equation, type it into Desmos, and check that that the graphs match. Okay, Number 3, tell whether the ordered pair, -2, 4, is a solution to the system. So we have, again, I do want to emphasize that you can use Desmos for almost every single one of these questions. You could type these into Desmos and check and see if that's where they cross. And if it is, great. And if it's not, then that's not the solution. But what we can do is just plug these in for x and y in each equation. So we'll use -2 for x. So everywhere we see x, we'll plug in -2. And we'll use 4 for y. So we'll plug that in for our y's. And then we'll just simplify. If it has to make both equations true for it to be a solution. If it only makes one equation true, then it's not the solution. It has to make them both. So we're going to do 2. We're going to plug -2 in for x. We're going to plug 4 in for y. And we have 2 times -2 minus 2 times 4 equals -12. So let's verify that. We have 2 times -2, and that's going to be -4 minus 2 times 4 is 8. And we're going to bring down that -12. -4 minus 8 is -12. -12 equals -12. Boom, it's a solution to the first equation. For it to be a solution to the system, it has to work for both equations. So we'll do -2 times -2 plus 3 times 4 equals 16. -2 times -2 is +4. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 plus 12 is 16. 16 equals 16. Boom. It's a solution to both. So our answer should be yes. Okay, so just to double check our work, and you have this as a resource, so why not use it? Okay. So let's type in our system. So we have 2x minus 2y equals -12. Oh, let me click on another one, and we have -2x plus 3y equals 16. We can see where they cross. That is at -2, 4. That is the solution we have. We are golden here. Okay. Number 4, solve the system by graphing. So we're going to graph this by hand, and then we'll double check with Desmos. Again, you have Desmos the entire time, so you can use it the entire time. Okay, so let's start with our y-intercept, which is 7. Our slope is -1. That's there's not a number in front of x. So our slope is -1. There's always a 1 in front of your variable if you don't have any other coefficient. So -1, that means we go down 1 and right 1. I have a lot of people say, Miss Gallant, why don't we go down 1 and left 1? Well, down is negative, left is negative, and two negatives make a positive. So we're going to give ourselves some points. I'm not going to go the whole way. I'm going to make sure I can graph these though, and then I'm going to just connect and keep going. Okay, so there's the first one graphed. Now let's graph the second one. And I'm going to highlight which one's which. It's not really a necessity, but it might help some people see what's what. All right, so we're going to graph this second one. We're going to start with our slope, our y-intercept, which is +5. And our slope is -2/3, which means we're going to go down 2 units and to the right 3. And down 2 units and to the right 3. And down 2, 1, 2, 3.
Teachers, at this time, please release all seniors
Okay. All right, now that we have enough points, we're going to graph them. We're going to connect. I'm going to highlight this in yellow and that in yellow. And our solution should be where they intersect, which looks to be right here at 6, at 6, 1. Okay, and then you always want to check your points by inserting this into X and this into Y and making sure that that is in fact where they intersect. But we're going to use Desmos just to verify. So Y equals, let's see, negative 7x. Nope, I'm sorry, negative x plus 7. And then for our second equation, we have y equals negative 2/3 x plus 5. Okay, that looks similar to what I've graphed, and my coordinates at 6, 1, which again, well, maybe, there it goes. 6, 1 is our solution. That's what we got on Desmos, so pretty sure that's right. Okay, so there's the first page of our, oh goodness, of our study guide. We're going to move on to page 2. All right. Refocus this a little, get it clearer. There we go. All right, number 5. A gallon of water weighs 8 pounds. A bag of pebbles weighs 25 pounds. A fish tank can hold up to...
Teachers, at this time, please release all juniors for the pep rally.
A fish tank can hold up to 1,200 pounds. The inequality, blah, 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 represents the possible number of gallons of water and bags of pebbles in the fish tank. X is the number of gallons of water. I guess I should put of water. And Y is the number of bags of pebbles. So let's just highlight this. Gallon of water weighs 8 pounds. And a bag of pebbles weighs 25 pounds. So we need both of those. And we can only hold up to 1,200 pounds. Okay, so there's all our highlighted numbers that we need. All right, letter A. What is the y-intercept and what does it represent in this context? So let's look here. So what I see is that my y-intercept is between 45 and 50. So I can't make any assumptions. We're going to look at our inequality.
Teachers, at this time, all sophomores are released for the pep rally.
Okay, so this is written in standard form. In standard form, that would mean that we plug 0 in for x and solve for y. So if we were to plug 0 in for x, 8 times 0 is 0. And then we have 25y is less than or equal to 1,200. So to get y by itself, we would do 1,200 divided by 25. And if you remember from standard form, our formula to get the y-intercept was c divided by b. So that's where it comes from. So we're going to do 1,200 divided by 25. So 1,200 divided by 25 is 48. So what is our y-intercept? That would be 0, 48. Okay, these are the bags of pebbles. So what this means is our tank can hold up to 48 bags of pebbles.
Teachers, at this time, all freshmen are released for the pep rally.
And that's if there's no water. So our tank can hold up to 48 bags of pebbles with no water. All right, x-intercept, we're going to do the same thing. We notice it's between 140 and 160, so we're going to go back to our standard form. And this time, instead of substituting 0 for x, we're going to substitute 0 for y. And 0 times 25 is 0, so this is gone. And we're left with 1,208. And so to get our x-intercept, we're going to take 1,200 and divide it by 8. So we'll come back here. 1,200 divided by 8 is 150. All right, so our x-intercept is 150, 0. What does it represent? Well, this is our gallons of water. So our tank can hold up to 150 gallons of water. If there's no pebbles, so with no pebbles. Now, obviously, with a fish tank, you want some pebbles, and you definitely have to have water or your fish are going to die. So we're looking like optimal would be somewhere in this area. You probably want more water than pebbles, but, optimal would be in this shaded region, which brings us to question C. List at least 4 ordered pairs that are solutions. How can you tell using the graph? Well, all of your solutions should be in the shaded region. All solutions should be in the shaded region. So I just need 4 ordered pairs that are in this area. So I'm going to close my eyes and just put my finger down. And that looks to be right there at 40, 20. So 40, 20. We can have 40 gallons of water and 20 bags of pebbles. Okay, let's do something that's on the line. So here we can have a point that's on the line because this is a solid line. If this were just a straight up less than and not a less than or equal to, we cannot choose points on the line. But in this instance, we can. Let's see. I think that's good. So we'll do 115. And you can double check this by plugging this into your equation. Okay. Let's do 20 and 5. And then we can put something over here that's in the middle. We could do 1 and 37. It's not a pretty point, but it is an actual point that would be there. That would make sense. Okay. All right, that brings us to number 6. So there we go on that. I think what my plan is I'm going to split this video into multiple parts. So I think after question 8, I'll end it there, and that'll be the end of part 1. And then we'll do, I'll try to make maybe, well, I don't know. All right, we're just going to keep going, and we'll see how long this takes us. I have no concept of time right now, so we'll just have to see. Okay. All right, number 6. The Fun Guys game rental store charges an annual fee of $10 plus $5.50 per game rented. Okay, so we can write an equation of this. So our annual fee is $10 and then $5.50 per game. That's going to be our slope. So this would be our y-intercept and our slope. So let's get some variables going. We are trying to figure out the cost of each thing. So we've got C, we'll do C for cost and G for games. Okay, then the game bank charges an annual fee of $28, but only $2.50 per game. And we want to know at what point will the cost be the same. So let's write our equations. We have y equals, we'll do 10 plus 5, I'm sorry, not y equals, c equals 10 plus 550g, and that would be fun, guys. And for Game Bank, we have $28 for the annual fee plus $250 per game. All right, so for how many game rentals will the cost be the same, and what will that cost be? Well, now that we have these, we can set them up for substitution and solve, or we could graph them in Desmos. So let me go ahead and try to solve for the games. And we're going to do 10 plus 550g equals 28 plus 250g. I have two g's, so let's subtract. $550 minus $250 should bring me to $3. And I have 10 plus 3g equals 28. We'll subtract 10. 3g equals 18. If I divide both sides by 3, g equals 6. So, for how many games will the cost be the same? 6 games. What will that cost be? Well, we'll plug 6 into one of our two equations. So let's do 10 plus 550 times 6. 550 times 6. Let's see, let's put it over here. Equals $33 plus my $10 fee, $43. All right, I'm going to test it and plug 6 into the other equation just to make sure it works. So 250 times 6 is $15, but then we add 28. Oops. Add 28 to that, and we get 43. So the cost is $43. So 6 games at either store will cost $43. All right, and again, we can check that on Desmos. All right, so we've got y equals 10 plus 550x. Oops. Oh, shoot. Okay. And then we have 28 plus 250x. And then if you look, you've got your two graphs. We'll click and drag until we see where they intersect. And at 6 games, they equal $43. Okay. All right. 7 and 8. We want to solve by graphing. Okay. So I could be really ugly and make you solve for y and then graph it by hand. But let's just go ahead and use Desmos. All right. I'm going to drag this over. Click this, go home. We're going to close these out. Okay. So let's go ahead and we have 2x plus y equals 1. And then we have, there's my mouse. And then we have x minus 2y equals 8. So we have these graphed, and our solution is at 2, -3. All right, so I'm going to just come over here and graph them to the side. So if we look, our green line, which is this first one, we start at +1, so 0, 1. And my slope looks to be down 2 across 1. Is that right? Yep. 1, -1, so right here. So we have a slope of what looks to be -2. And you could always, make an XY table and plug numbers in. You can use Desmos. I really encourage Desmos. That's been the easiest thing to do here. Okay, let's look at our second equation. Our y-intercept is at -4, and we have an x-intercept at 8. So we'll go from -4 to 8. And let's just cheat a little. Well, it's not cheating. I mean, I have 2 points. All you need for a line is 2 points. And we intersect right here at 2, -3. So 2, -3 is our solution. I'm going to box that. And just to double check, let's click on this point, 2, -3. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with number 8. Now, this is easier because they're already in slope-intercept form. I should be able to start at -1, and there is nothing in front of x, so my slope is 1, and I should be able to go up 1 and right 1. And, yep, my slope is 1. We're just going to do this. And then for part B, my y-intercept is at 9. My slope is -3, 2, or 3/2, sorry. So I'm going down 3 and right 2. And there we go. I'm going to draw my lines. I'm going to verify it with Desmos. And my point of intersection looks to be 4, 3. Okay. So let's see. We have y equals x minus 1. And we have y equals -3/2 x plus 9. And to verify our point of intersection, that is at 4, 3. Woohoo! All right, so that is it for number 8. Moving right along, I think we'll be able. Oh, I can at least get some of these questions here. I'm hoping to maybe get halfway through the test. Maybe I can get through this page. Okay, number 9. What is the first step for solving a system using substitution? So my hope is that you use your foldable for this. But the first thing you want to do when you have to solve with substitution is solve an equation for one of your variables. And hopefully you don't have to. Hopefully it's already set up for you. But basically you want to get x equals or y equals or whatever your variable is. And then if it's already set up to where you already have a y equals or an x equals, then you want to, and I guess this is technically step 2, but depending, it could be step 1, substitute into the other equation. So technically, I think this would technically be step 2 because step 1 is you always want to get one of your variables